I'm sorry. No. Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
Over the past week, there have been innumerable videos of women, not only American, but women worldwide, having total and complete meltdowns at the election of Donald Trump as president. And in response to these videos, streamer Nick Fuentes posted a now viral clip of his view that having a female president of the country would be detrimental for the American empire, or in so many words. And women across social media have yet again taken to emotional narcissism and exhibitionism to gain clicks and attention, and to make it, like all things, about them.
Be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
So obviously there is a distinct issue or a distinct problem between genders in the Western world, a chasm, a gulf, if you will. And to put it simply, nobody is winning in this social paradigm that has been constructed over the past 50 years or so. And it's gotten so bad that approximately 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be childless and single by 2030. And it should be noted that for every single woman, there is a corresponding man that will also be partnerless. In the modern West, at least outwardly, most women pretend that they don't want a misogynistic, patriarchal man like Trump, or an avowed virgin that thinks women are icky, like Fuentes, who is then also labeled a sexist. But in fact, according to research, they do want sexist men. Take, for example, the actor Leonardo DiCaprio, who just celebrated his 50th birthday. And this is a man who is celebrated, or notorious depending on who is speaking, of changing out his girlfriends for a younger model every year, and is now currently dating a woman half his age. And the same goes for many of his colleagues, as well as men of high status, much as it has throughout history. Men like Brad Pitt, Jeff Goldblum, and Prince Albert of Monaco all are in relationships with women who are much younger than they are. There are also many older men with obvious high tea, who, as feminists would exclaim, are exploiting the patriarchy by having children in the winter of their lives with much younger women. Men like Al Pacino at 83, Robert De Niro at 79, and Mick Jagger at 73. So, whatever the case made by the controlled media, women seek out virility, however that is defined, and those with low T and those who carry the newly created title of involuntary celibate or incel, and those that are put in the friend zone need not apply. Across the Western world, there are many men that believe if they could only feminize themselves, then they would be better able to relate with modern women. There's also the fact, and it's widely understood, that modern men are not the same as their grandfathers. In fact, the average 22-year-old man today has an average testosterone level roughly equal to that of a 67-year-old man in the year 2000, which is having obviously not only effects on gender roles, family formations, but also on men themselves. Testosterone is, of course, linked to strength and vitality in men, but it is also linked to competition and hierarchy, which are ostensibly the underpinnings of modern-day conservatism, as opposed to victim fetishization found in modern far-left Marxist politics and those, and especially those men that hold these politics. We are bombarded with estrogenic chemicals from plastic, junk food, and of course from almost every aspect of modern lifestyles, and it is important to point out that the current cultural taboo of stating any opinion that runs contrary to radical feminism and the goal of smashing the so-called patriarchy in the West. And it is important to point out also this is the view and is enforced by the institutions, the banks, the judiciary, and big tech. And this view is tantamount to not only blasphemy but sacrilege, and is met with widespread censorship, as is the case with big tech. But I'm here to tell you there is hope, and it comes in the form of Black Forest's testosterone with Tongkat Ali limited edition supplement, and has been dubbed the feminization killer since it combines two of the most potent natural testosterone boosters on the market. So, testosterone is a natural anabolic compound that supports muscle growth, improves endurance, and boosts testosterone levels. Tongkat Ali is an ancient, potent, natural herb that has been used for thousands of years to increase testosterone levels, improve libido, and reduce stress levels, and is a natural way to fight back against an environment that is constantly weakening you. Now, Black Forest has said that since this product is a limited edition, once it goes out of stock, it will be out of stock forever, so make sure you purchase yours ASAP. And as a side note, and as a personal user, I can vouch for its effectiveness, as I've noticed a difference in my energy levels, more restful sleep, and overall well-being. So then, help support me and this channel by supporting my sponsors and try Black Forest's testosterone with Tongkat Ali with an amazing buy two get one free offer. Now, hurry to take advantage of this amazing 48-hour promo and to support me alongside this amazing brand. The link to it is in the description. You will not be disappointed. Obviously, low testosterone is not a good thing for men. And things that most would count as common sense shouldn't be a controversial thing to say. And they only are is because we live in a hopelessly dysfunctional society. But here we are. And the soylent neckbeard Marxist men that rant on about toxic masculinity on platforms like YouTube, well, you need to take heed. Here is your study and the reason why you get friend-zoned rather than the girl. So the more militant of feminists, well, they condemn other women that prefer sexist and domineering men to that of softer, more vulnerable male feminists. Well, they condemn them for being foolish, uneducated, deluded, and as traitors to other women, or that they are internalizing patriarchal, misogynistic views. In the modern West, to even question the oppression hierarchy is controversial in almost every organ of the establishment. Now, what's interesting about the following social science paper is that it was able to replicate its findings, something that's very unusual, I would say, in the social sciences. But what is interesting is it also comes to the same conclusion that most people intuitively understand, and that is women, including those that self-identify as feminists, well, they find bad boys, so-called bad boys, sexier than they do woke male feminists. Or in other words, they find traditionally sexist men more attractive than they do their so-called allies that are usually sniffing around hoping for a taste. In the paper titled Benevolent Sexism and Male Preferences, Why Do Women Prefer Benevolent Male Despite Recognizing That They Can Be Undermining, that's quite the title, authors Gull and Kupfer carried out a series of experiments testing women's attraction to different types of men and then teasing out women's motivation. The findings of their studies suggest that men who specifically display so-called benevolent sexism may be seen by women as having more interest in investing resources in a woman in contrast to their woke male feminist peers. And you know the type, white dudes for Kamala if you need an example.
Hey, my fellow ladies out there. So, men think they own you. Take it from somebody that used to be a man. You got boobs. You got a vajayjay. Guess what, honey? You own them. Trust me, they want it. Make them earn it.
Now, benevolent sexism for its part can be described as a traditional understanding of gender roles. And the same study found that women who saw these types of men as more attractive also saw the men as being more willing to protect and care for them and to commit to a relationship. And in yet another disastrous blow to liberal male feminist allies, even in men who were not being scoped out as potential intimate partners, well, women were more likely to see sexist men as more attractive. Women who were both more and less feminist displayed similar levels of attraction to sexist men. So this effect, they concluded, isn't the result of women not being so-called woke enough. It's also a very important thing to note that sexism and misogyny are not identical concepts. Kate Main suggests that misogyny is more about control of women than about hatred, and argues that sexism is more an ideology that supports the reason why we treat women differently. And this is something that most low-T feminists, and most being predators posing as house pets, don't seem to understand. Because it has been my experience that most male feminists use their so-called allyship as a sexual technique itself in their desperate bid to get some for themselves, even scraps of a little taste. Clearly, women basically intuitively understand that it might be a better trade-off to have a committed partner that will sacrifice for them than it would be to have a woke partner that expects them to be more independent. What people have known for millennia and have seemingly forgot in the last couple of decades is that humans have evolved over tens of thousands of years, and our gender roles have been evolving with us. Masculinity is no more toxic than femininity is shrill. Both are needed and complement the other, and both are needed when attempting to build a stable society. And no surprise here, this is why male feminist zealots are friend-zoned by most women and snickered at best, and looked down upon in disgust by most men that hold traditional values. Again, in sum, none of this should be controversial things to say, and they only is because we live in a hopelessly deluded and dysfunctional society that most are incapable of discerning reality from ideological drivel. But in the end, thank God for social scientists and their ability to tell us all what most of us already know. And coming full circle, perhaps all of the crying hysteria and virtue signaling, their hatred for Donald Trump and the likes of Nick Fuentes, as well as men that engage in age gap relationships, is really all about is women signaling their desire for and lament for not having sexist men as partners. Even though Fuentes, as I understand, doesn't like girls.
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Out of here.
Thanks ever so much for watching. If you like this video, please check to see that you are still subscribed, as YouTube has unsubscribed tens of thousands of people without their knowledge or consent. Also, remember to check out my sponsor, Black Forest, and their amazing product, the testosterone with Tomcat Alley limited edition supplement. It's changed my life, and I'm pretty sure you will like it as well. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.